All right, everyone, welcome. Thanks for tuning in. I am getting ready to extend my Secret Life of Brass test using Alpha 6 PPC brass. Just came out on the market not too long ago. People are starting to put information out there about it. Some of it data, some of it opinion, some of it just hype. But anyway, we'll get some hard data out on this. I already put some data out on some initial measurements. And one of the things that I'm going to do now that I have my rifle back from my gunsmith, I put the same barrel on that I used for my Secret Life of Brass series. I got the same primers, powder, bullets, everything ready to go ahead and do the same exact thing to this brass that I did to the other brass. And now I'm ready to prime. And what I noticed with the data is that the primer pocket diameter on the Alpha was about a thousandths narrower than even the most narrow. So I think it was either the Normas or the Lapua that the pin gauge told me they were 0.172, and then the other one started at 0.173. This one is starting at 0.171. So about a thousandth narrower. That may be, the secret sauce for keeping tight pockets. I don't know. Definitely in the Secret Life of Brass, the thicker the case head, the tighter the pocket stayed. So that was, I think the case head thickness is probably a big factor. And these have really thick case heads. So thick case heads and a narrow pocket. Maybe the secret sauce, I don't know. I want to see how they seat though, because with it that narrow, I'm kind of wondering, is this going to be hard to seat these and potentially crush the primers, blah, blah, blah. So let's go ahead or will it seat to the depth that I want? Right now, this is the primer seater that I used in that Secret Life of Brass test, and it's at the same exact setting as it was for the test, and it seated them about 8 to 9 thousandths in. I think, somewhere between 7 and 9 thousandths, basically. Okay, I got one piece of brass settled in there, cranked down. Let's give it a push. Okay, so definitely give it kind of 2 quick pushes. It definitely felt heavier, but not super heavy. I don't think I'd experience much fatigue priming, 15 cases during a bench rest match with that. So that's not bad. Let's look at the primer though, because sometimes if it seats really hard, you see lines in the primer. I'm not really seeing anything that I'm concerned with. Yeah, I don't really see it. Maybe a little scratch mark there, but that's no big deal. Okay, now let's see what seating depth is. That's going to be the key thing. I want these to seat, if this pocket is too tight and it's not seating well, it's not going to seat from 7 to 9 thousandths. So it'll be either under that or, well, probably under it if it's too tight, but let's see. Okay, 8.5 thousandths. That's good. All right, let's get another primer. You can see that cup is pretty clean. There's no scrape marks on the cup. Let's get another piece of Alpha, crank it down. Yeah, that's not bad. I mean, yeah, I can tell the seating force is, probably a little more than the other brands, but not really that bad. I mean, it's not notably different. Okay, just under 9 thousandths. That's good. And let's see this one. Let's turn that. Yeah, seems a little tighter, but not anything. Okay, primer has slight scratch marks on it, but okay. Oh, almost 8 thousandths. All right, that's still good. I mean, that's within the tolerance that I had with the other brass brand, so that's good news. Exactly 8 thousandths. Cool. And this is not a rim thickness dependent priming tool, so that's why I'm getting pretty good consistencies in the depths here. About 8.5. Okay, well, there you go. I mean, that's pretty darn good priming there. I'd say just based on that and looking at the primer, there are little scratches on them, but nothing substantial, like no big lines or divots in them. So, well, then I'd expect them to shoot just fine. They all seated to the correct depth. So yeah, we'll go ahead and get started. We'll shoot these first 5, and we'll do the exact same loads, the exact same bullet, seating depth, barrel, rifle, etc. Atmospheric conditions that we did for the 4 other brass brands, the 2 Normas, the Lapua, and the Starline. And we will go ahead and put these pieces of brass through the exact same test where I shot all 5 cartridges 10 times, measured all the dimensions over to see how they changed. And then after that, for the 11th through 20th firing, I just randomly selected one case and really did a pressure test at that point, shooting pretty stout loads to see if there were any major changes in the primer pocket diameter. And we'll do that with this set of brass and add this to the database and see how it does in comparison. All right, everyone, take care. Come join my Patreon.